There it is. There it is. There it is. I got it. Okay. You're gonna have to cut the corner again here. So go left. Hey David, go left. Go left. Hey Andrew, do you know if we're streaming? Oh my gosh. Okay, we need to watch it and keep up with it. Okay. Just keep turning the corner there so he doesn't get away from us. Hey, hey, Booth, do you know if we're streaming this on the web? Thank you. Too far. Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the NVCLA app and NVCLA.com. Thank you, Andrew. This is Gil Levis and News Chopper 4 Bravo over a high-speed police chase. It's happening right now on the 605 freeway southbound coming into Whittier. This all started in this area, Whittier, when the vehicle failed to yield from California Highway Patrol. It's a stolen vehicle with as many as 3 occupants inside the car, and they first took off northbound on the 605, went all the way up past the 10 freeway, got off on Ramona, and then made their way back southbound. That's where we're picking it up here. We just picked it up just a short time ago. Speeds of 100 miles an hour almost as the car continues to go southbound here on the 605 freeway. Oh, geez. 605 freeway coming through the Whittier area. This is off of, actually passing through Rose Hills Cemetery. We're all by ourselves, right? Say again. It is California Highway Patrol that's in pursuit. It was Santa Fe Springs that started this pursuit, and it continues to be the Santa Fe Springs CHP that's in pursuit. There's about 3 units in the pursuit along with the airship overhead. And they did early on say there was 3 people inside the car. And the driving has been pretty erratic, pretty high speeds in and out of traffic, or in and out of lanes here on the northbound 605, now on the southbound 605. Approaching the 5 here in about a couple miles here, but you see him going all the way across lanes at times, and now in the slow lane, still speeds of over 90 miles an hour. I'm going to punch in our SkyVision map system, and you can see the speedometer there that's telling you 93, 94 miles an hour. Fluctuating here, but again, passing cars, passing trucks without a problem. And here he goes, he's going to exit. David, he's exiting. Oh, he almost makes a big mistake there, almost losing it on that gore point. But here he goes on this long off-ramp. This is Washington Boulevard. And look at that sweeping turn there. He's going to be hard on the brakes. And we'll see which way he goes here underneath the freeway there, and there he goes. Southbound, yes. Southbound, this is Whittier. Norwalk Boulevard, it is off the coming off the Washington Boulevard off ramp, got onto Norwalk here southbound. Now coming up to an intersection, not deciding which way to go. He's got the a red light he goes through there, just was changing. now the California Highway Patrol is notifying Whittier Police Department of the chase because it's coming through their city. Wow, just going right around that traffic, not concerned about the intersection, not concerned about cross traffic. Just blew right through that intersection, and here he goes, 70 miles an hour. Here's a look at the CHP right behind. We're going to see when Whittier PD gets into the mix here. Now, California Highway Patrol will usually give it up to an agency once it goes off the freeway system. We'll see, though. They're gonna stay in it for now until Whittier gets involved, or even if they do get involved. He's moving at such a high rate of speed. He's eastbound here, and he's moving at such a high rate of speed that it's just a matter of time before he gets out of the city of Whittier. Whittier still. Okay, understood for Telemundo. News Chopper 4 Bravo, we are exclusive on this pursuit. 1 minute, thank you. Keep up with him, David. Keep up with him. Oh, hard on the brakes. Look at this, wrong way. He's losing it. Whittier Boulevard, wrong direction. Oh my gosh, wrong way. Staying on the wrong side of the road. "30 seconds. Whittier PD right there blocking that intersection. So they are participating now in this pursuit. They're assisting the CHP. He's still staying on the wrong side of the road. This guy is very arrogant. Oh. 5 seconds. Jonathan and Kathy, that's right. Whittier Boulevard, eastbound on Whittier from the 605 freeway. The driver just moments ago jumping on the wrong side of the road on Whittier Boulevard with opposing traffic coming right at him. Almost lost control at one point, but you see now he's back on the right side of the road. California Highway Patrol in hot pursuit of this driver. It all started with the CHP Santa Fe Springs division that went into pursuit of this white vehicle. It's a stolen vehicle with 3 occupants on board. Now, they started northbound at high rates of speeds on the 605 freeway, got all the way up past the 10 freeway and exited Ramona, then jumped back on the southbound side of the 605 going at the same rate of speed, 90 miles an hour, almost 100 miles an hour, in and out of traffic, exited at Washington Boulevard, and then now ended up on Whittier Boulevard, almost in a collision when he transitioned from Norwalk Boulevard onto Whittier Boulevard. A very close call at that point, but the driver not caring about traffic, not caring about intersections with cross traffic. Whittier Police Department was called in to assist in this pursuit and possibly take it over since it's in their city now. But at this point, California Highway Patrol still in the chase here with Whittier PD assisting at intersections to make sure it's safe to get through these intersections as you see him going right through another red light here. But the Whittier Police getting into position. Now I'm seeing as I zoom out here, the CHP dropping a little bit further back, the airship overhead with the night sunlight, but it's such a dangerous pursuit with this driver just reckless and trying to get away any way he can. Well, fortunately, it's light traffic out here on Whittier Boulevard at this hour, so that's really good news. But there is cross traffic like you see there in that intersection. He made that green light, but he's not, this driver, I don't know if it's a male or female, I'm just saying he, but this driver is not concerned whatsoever about blowing through those red lights when they turn red. So that's what makes it very dangerous for those drivers that are out here right now. And certainly the speed right now, 74 miles an hour. I'm going to bring in our night vision, our sky vision map system that shows the speed. Look at him pass on that right turn there. That's what I mean. He's just driving in and out of traffic any way he can, and at that one point driving on Whittier Boulevard for about a mile on the wrong side of the road. Well, you know, Jonathan, when he went north on the 605, then came back to the Whittier area, that's where it all started on the 605 freeway through Whittier. That's where the pursuit started. The CHP lit him up, and I thought maybe he was just going back to a familiar area, but now he's just eastbound on Whittier Boulevard, just continuing to stay on Whittier Boulevard. So it's likely that Whittier is not the area that he's most familiar with as he's traveling through Whittier right now. And we'll see which direction he goes to when he reaches around Beach Boulevard, if he gets that far. Let me bring in our map system once again. You're looking at 70 miles an hour, 60, let me come right in on the car and you'll get an exact spot on it. 65 miles. Yes. It's freeway speeds right now on Whittier Boulevard for this driver. Yeah, there's a lot of space there. In fact, it might be tracking mode. Well, look at that. That's about, I don't know, less than a quarter mile away, but not right on his tail. Like you see, the California Highway Patrol will get right up on the driver and you know, be very aggressive that way. Right now they're being very patient with the driver, giving him some breathing room here. Whittier PD not into the pursuit as the primary agency yet, but they may just be assisting right now the CHP with those cross traffic. As you see that one unit right there at the bottom of the screen passing through. If California Highway Patrols ask for their assistance, they will. But at this point, it sounds like California Highway Patrol is the leading agency. So at this point, they're not necessarily asking Whittier PD to get into the chase at this point, but maybe at least assisting with the pursuit. We're into La Habra now, so Whittier PD is going to be out of the mix, and it's now into the city of La Habra. Whittier Boulevard approaching Ellie, coming up to Harbor. So he's making a lot of progress from the 605 all the way over to Harbor. I'm hearing the airship calling out the next street. And here he comes up to the intersection. I'm going to come out to a wide shot. And look at that, cross traffic. He goes right around that car. A close call, that white car, not knowing what the heck is going on with this guy coming right at him. Fortunately, he was out of the way in time. But again, continuing eastbound here at a high rate of speed. Yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen a car on surface streets going freeway speeds 65, 70 miles an hour, that is fast. That's really moving. I mean, if you're living right next to the street and it's traveling that fast, you'll feel it roar. Look at that. He cuts right in front of that car, and he's going to continue through Palms on Whittier. It's now down to a single lane in each direction, making it extremely dangerous here. He slowed it down, though, quite a bit, so that's better, about 50 miles an hour right now as he continues eastbound on Whittier. No, Jonathan. In fact, the 57 would be the next one to the east of him. But no, here he goes. He's going on the wrong side of that road right there. He's going into a housing track here, and we'll see if he has an exit point. At some point, he might go into a dead end or a cul-de-sac, which... right at officers, and that can be considered right there endangering those officers. So he went into that cul-de-sac, and now he's going back westbound on Whittier Boulevard at a high rate of speed. He's going to face those bumps again that he's having to go over, but it doesn't seem to be deterring him. It sure does, especially when he came at those officers going around him as he did there. He could have just stopped and gave up at that point. He had nowhere else to go, but he decided, no, I'm going to go right at you. I'm going to come right in your direction at a high rate of speed and swerve around you. So that right there can be considered endangering those officers. Yeah, it started on the 605 freeway northbound in the Whittier area. The driver was being followed by a California Highway Patrol officer from the Santa Fe Springs division. When they decided to light him up, they knew it was a stolen vehicle. They were able to see how many people were on board. They're saying 3 people in the car. But when they lit that car up, it took off. In fact, it exited the freeway at one point and then got back on after driving through a dirt lot, but then got on that 605 northbound all the way up to Ramona Avenue and then turned back around southbound and then exited Washington Boulevard, making its way finally onto Whittier, which he's on now. And now he's heading back towards that 605. And what I'm hearing now on the scanner is that they may try to do a spike strip, but let me punch in the map here again and show you the speeds have really upped it since that U-turn that he made in that cul-de-sac. 84 miles an hour. You see that reading on our speedometer up here in News Chopper 4 Bravo. But look at the speeds here on Whittier Boulevard. Thankfully, not a lot of traffic right now for him to encounter on up ahead of him. It is. In fact, it's extremely dangerous to have this happen. You saw those cars that really didn't know what was happening when he blew through the intersections. Now he has his headlights off. You can't see that coming, especially at these speeds. It's so fast. Look at him weave there. Oh, he almost lost it there going around that car. So being blacked out is not a good thing, not an advantage to this driver. He thinks it is, though. They can do the spike strip, except it's extremely dangerous for those officers putting it out there, especially at the rate of speed he's going. The other thing is, once those tires go flat, he's going to have a problem controlling it at a high speed like this. So there's a couple of issues there that may prevent them from actually deploying that spike strip. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to come out wider so you see a better view of what's ahead and the officers behind. It's still California Highway Patrol. He's back into Whittier, so Whittier PD is going to be blocking lanes for sure, blocking the intersections off. But you can see how he's just blowing right by those cars who have no idea what's coming behind him. All of a sudden, here comes a blacked out car, blows right by you at 90 miles an hour. Not a good situation. Yeah, now he's got the 605 freeway that he was where this all started on in a couple of miles, probably about 4 or 5 miles more ahead of him, and he'll be able to get back on that if he chooses to. It is. In fact, they went to a frequency that they use statewide. So because of the speed and the amount of distance this driver is driving, they put it on a statewide frequency so that all divisions of the CHP can hear what's going on. So if it ever makes it on the freeway and to them, look at this, he's going wrong side of the road. Staying on there because he thinks he's a way to get away. He's got his headlights off. Fortunately, this strip of Whittier has a lot of lights with businesses. They're lighting up the area, but he's continuing to be defiant, staying on the wrong side of the road. He's westbound on the eastbound side of the Whittier Boulevard, and there he finally goes back. I think he jumped over because he had some traffic ahead of him and he didn't want to slow down. I haven't been able to. I'm going to come in a little tighter here, and you can see probably better than I can. I can see the driver right now. The CHP was talking about a lot of movement in the vehicle, so those other two people that are in there are certainly moving around there and being active. A couple miles. We are westbound Whittier Boulevard, coming up to Laurel Avenue, and the speeds continue to be out of control. They've really backed off quite a bit, probably because of the traffic. They're not going on the wrong side of the road. Here he goes, weaving his way in and out. The slowest we've seen him go so far. The car looks like it's dragging a little bit here, so I don't know the condition of that vehicle, but certainly it probably can't take much more of this high speeds. Yeah, it was the California Highway Patrol Santa Fe Springs Department that went into pursuit initially. Here's where he went on to the wrong side of the road on Whittier Boulevard right here, going the opposite direction earlier. That's where he almost lost control of it. But it was Santa Fe Springs CHP that went in pursuit, and they are remaining in pursuit at this point. But we'll see if he jumps back on the freeway. It will stay with CHP. It sounds like it's going to stay CHP no matter where he goes at this point. Well, I can tell you right now, he just transitioned onto Washington Boulevard, cross of Riviera Road. He's got the freeway coming up within about a mile and a half, about a mile, I'd say. So it's a good chance for this driver to jump back on the freeway. But you see the speeds there, still 70 miles an hour, fluctuating there a little bit. He's got a red light right there, blew right through that red light. And boy, he's really taking some chances out here. A little bit more traffic as he approaches that 605 freeway. Yes, I mean it's averaging, between 70 and as high. Well, we've seen it as high as 95 miles an hour on the freeway. That's right. Thankfully, not a lot of traffic in those cross traffic situations, but look at him blow right through the red lights. Here he comes up to the freeway, so we'll see. I'm going to come out to a wide shot so you get a better perspective. Here's an intersection, I should say, right under the freeway. So we'll see if he decides to go a left turn here or try to get back on. It looks like he's looking to get back on the freeway. Yep, there he goes. Southbound. That's right, Jonathan. He's southbound now, 605, and the 5 not too far away here. Traffic southbound is lighter than it is northbound, so that's a help as far as safety goes. But look at the CHP now. Yeah, now he's back on CHP territory, which changes the name of the game here. They'll come up right up against him, let him know they're there, and they're not going to back off. They're not going to let this guy get away. Too fast right now, too fast, and if the traffic's light enough and he slows down enough, they definitely will. They may look for that pit maneuver on a transition road if he gets slow enough, or on an exit. They're really professional when it comes to that pit maneuver. The California Highway Patrol practices this all the time, and they do an excellent job in their pit maneuvers. So we'll see what happens if the driver starts to slow down. He already is. He's a bit, well, in comparison to what he's been, 85 miles an hour we're looking at it, but it's nowhere near the range for a pit maneuver. Yeah, let me come out wider. There were 3 initially in the pursuit. It looks like we have 2. We'll likely see another one join in. Here's I believe this is the transition coming up in the next mile or half mile to the 5 freeway. So he'll have some options here to go on the 5 or continue southbound on the 605. Yeah, for sure. You're seeing the 5 freeway he's crossing over, so he's committed at this point to the southbound 605, and the CHP still behind him, 2 units in the airship overhead. Okay. Okay. Norwalk. Initially, they thought there was 2, and the leading unit said there was 3. So 3 people on board. California Highway Patrol at this point, they're just gonna stay right on this guy, not give him any room. They're gonna let him know he's there and gonna continue to just follow him until he runs out of gas or finally decides to give up. But hopefully he stays on the freeway at these speeds and doesn't get on service streets again. It's so dangerous to do that. But at this point, he's southbound 605 freeway coming through Norwalk. He already passed the 105 freeway, decided not to take that, but is now approaching the 91 freeway, so they have options there. Now, if he stays southbound 605, it'll eventually end up onto the 405 freeway if he continues all the way down. But at this point, he does have some options coming up ahead. Yeah, Whittier Boulevard seemed to be the only pattern until he ran out of room. I think he just didn't know where he was going and ran into that cul-de-sac, but now he's going away from the area where this initially started, and we'll see what he does here as he approaches the 605, I'm sorry, approaches the 91. He might, if he stays in that lane, he'll be transitioning onto the 91. And that's what I mean. They will take every chance they can to do that pit. He had to slow for that transition road, but just not enough. That CHP officer seeing that and jumping on that opportunity, but unfortunately wasn't slow enough to do the pit. But now he's westbound 91 freeway from the 605. You see the speeds right now. He's picking up to, well, he was there about almost 100 miles an hour as he got to the 91 freeway, but now he's ramping it back up to 85. You see the numbers go up as he continues to go westbound here on the 91 coming through Bellflower. Absolutely, and you know the one thing that they want to see happen is this guy just pull over and give up. He's not going to get away. He's got an airship overhead. The radios are blaring. Every unit of CHP is hearing this across this area, so they know what's coming as it comes into their jurisdiction. So it's basically a relay race at this point. CHP hands off to the next area, and it keeps on going. They have enough resources to keep this going all night long. We're coming through, we're still in Bellflower, but westbound will be, like you said, approaching the 710 here. He's just now crossing Lakewood Boulevard, and he'll have the 710 to contend with up ahead. Traffic up ahead is pretty light, like you see right now on the westbound 91. Yeah, that's right. They have us up pretty high over this pursuit because of the airship that's overhead. We want to give them space and the opportunity to work and do what they need to do. So because we're up a little bit higher than normal, it's a little hard to see into the car. I'm going to come in with a doubler, though, and see what we can see as we push in a little tighter here. You can see maybe some movement in there, but at least the driver's side, we can see the driver in there not doing much other than trying to avoid an accident. Yeah, yeah, that little close call there. He's really close to this 710 freeway now. I mean, at these speeds, he's really just making his way westbound here very quickly. He's coming up to the 710 right now in about a mile. Yeah, I think he was trying to fake out the CHP there, trying to make it look like he was going to jump on that 710, but he's committed. Yeah, he's committed westbound 91 through the 710 now. We are now, this is Long Beach, the Long Beach area, North Long Beach. Well, Jonathan, that's a good point. But the bad news about the 91 is it ends at the 110 freeway or just past it, turns into Artesia Boulevard. So he has that option of just taking it to the end, and then he's on surface streets again. But hopefully, you know, this driver would just pull over or give up. But if he doesn't, northbound or southbound 110 would be better than getting off on Artesia. Yeah, you know, the one positive for him exiting is the CHP can set up spike strips where he's going to exit. So that's the one benefit. Also, it slows him down when he exits. So the pit maneuver is a possibility at that point. Yes. Yep. Again, it's letting this driver know that you know, no matter what you do, we're still here. He's trying to evade. He's trying to fake them out. He's trying to go on the wrong side of the road. They're still there, and that sends a very strong message to that driver that no matter what you try, we've seen it all before. We can do it. We can stay with you. That's right. Westbound 91, approaching Avalon Boulevard, and soon we'll be out the 110 freeway. Yeah, the 91 will exit onto Artesia Boulevard, so that's a big concern. It looks like this, well, I'm just going to say it looks like he's slowed down a little bit here. It might be because of some traffic up ahead, but he's in about a mile or so. He's got the 110 here. He might be running out of gas. Let's see what happens. But and he's getting into the point where they can do a pit. So we'll see what happens if he's just running out of gas and it's over. And look at that officer. Oh yeah, you can tell that officer's itching to do the pit maneuver, but we'll see. He might just be pulling over. It looks like he's running out of gas. So yeah, definitely. Well, possibly. I think the driver knows that the gig's up. He's probably running out of gas, or the car's giving it up. So we'll see what he does here. This is the San Pedro exit, and now he's at a crawl. So the pit maneuver I don't think is going to be necessary if he's running out of gas. They're just going to let him run out of gas, and now it could turn into a foot chase if they decide to jump out and run. They could, yeah, definitely wouldn't be a bad idea. Certainly if they're playing cat and mouse and acting like the car's running out of gas, they could actually hit the gas again. We'll see what happens on this turn here, but it looks like the game's over here. This car's run out of gas, or maybe he just decided enough's enough. But now it's a felony stop. They have guns drawn. We'll see what happens. They're not jumping out and running, so it doesn't look like there'll be a foot chase. It looks like I have a hand coming out the driver's side window, and now it's turned into a felony traffic stop on this pursuit. Yeah, the first goal for the officers is to get the keys out the window. They'll have that driver throw the keys out the window, and then they'll have that driver exit, and then one by one, there goes the keys. So that's good news. So next will be the door opening and the driver coming out, and then after that, he'll back his way up to the officers. They'll take him into custody, and then repeat the pattern. Yep, seatbelt off. Yep, and we're seeing the hands up, so he's complying. That's a good sign. At this point, it looks like pretty much this pursuit's going to be over. He kicks the door closed with his left foot, and now they're going to have them walk backwards, back towards those officers, and then they'll make the arrest on him and then move up. You see the other officers moving up in place for the passengers as they continue to talk to this guy. He's turning around. He's going to lift his shirt up to show that he has no weapons in his waistband, and then they'll have him walk backwards. Sometimes they have him kneel down, and then they'll put him in cuffs. That's right, Kathy, and if the count was right, we'll see two more. Here's the driver going into custody, and shortly we'll see the passengers do the same routine. Yeah, because we're up so high, I'm using the double here to get a look at that driver being taken away, and now the process will take place once again with the passengers as the officers focus on the vehicle once again. San Pedro exit off the 91 freeway, and this is going to be Compton Carson. Yeah, they did. Well, it's interesting that she kicked the door closed. That tells me that maybe there's no one else in there. We'll see. Oh yeah. Absolutely. In fact, it looks like they're setting up to do that approach. You see those officers, the two officers on the curb, getting ready to potentially move in to check the vehicle. So they will eventually do that. They'll check if there's any trunk. It looks like it's a hatchback there. So there goes the driver being walked away as we see him being escorted to a car. Here goes those officers approaching the vehicle. So it looks like only two, unless they find a third hiding down inside the vehicle. All clear, so it turns out to be two and not three. Thank you.
Oh no, no, no! We have a suspect running. think he's gonna be
To
close.
watch more heart-stopping car chases happening across Southern California, subscribe here. Thanks for watching. The chase is on.